How did the release of superhero movies and shows go from this?
But I'm going to tell you right now, swearing on my mother's soul, I have never had more fun watching a movie in my life.
Avengers Endgame approaching $3 billion in ticket sales worldwide.
To this.
The finale of She-Hulk aired last week, and we need to talk about it.
The new Hawkeye series, episode 1 and 2, is the most boring TV I've ever watched in my entire life.
What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to be talking about the rise and fall of superhero movies and why they are dying. In case you didn't know by the beginning of this actual video here, I believe that this problem has been around for years, and there were some in the industry who were actually calling this problem out. And the reason I say problem is because now Marvel and Disney spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, as well as Netflix and Amazon, to make these stories, and they're not making any money. And I'm going to go over and highlight how we actually got here and how I believe that this is actually a good thing for movies going forward. So without wasting any more of your precious attention, let's just go back in time and start where I believe that this issue actually started and how the formula for Marvel and other movies began to take shape. And the movie that I believe that actually did this is Batman Begins. But there's a good reason why I believe that this movie was actually the start of this all, because for one main reason. But simply put,
Do you bleed?
now the fact that he can bleed doesn't mean physically. I just mean that he is human. He can lose everything that he actually has. This is something that we are reminded about in the movie all the time.
If those are to be the first of many injuries to come, it would be wise to find a suitable excuse. Polo, for instance. Not learning polo, Alfred.
Now, because he can lose everything that he has, this is something that actually makes him more relatable. Why? Because there are studies that show that whenever humans actually see pain or suffering from a character, they can actually understand that pain or put their own perspective on that pain. In other words, the Kuleshov effect. We kind of impose our own experiences onto what it is that the character is going through. It's not like it's everything is being displayed on the screen and we feel exactly what they're telling us to feel, but we are self-imposing our own experience into that character and are able to kind of connect with that character at that time. It is what creates big fans for movies like this. So when Bruce loses his parents at the beginning and he's self-blaming, trying to put himself through pain and blaming himself, we kind of can relate to that experience for him, because we as humans, when we go through that grief cycle, if you have gone through it or you've been hurt, you kind of can understand or self-impose that experience onto the character itself. Which brings me to the next character in Marvel that actually started the whole MCU and was able to actually bring that experience as well. Enter Tony Stark.
I am Iron Man.
Tony is another character that we can relate to because of what he experiences. On his way back from a meeting, he actually gets attacked, which then forces him to realize that the very company that's keeping him alive and rich might be his demise as well. After his near-death experience, Tony must come to the realization that he has to extend his mind in order for him to be able to save himself and make it back to the people that he loves. which makes him even more of a character that we can relate to, because we all have gone through an experience where we had to change our biases and ourselves in order for us to take on the challenge that the world has presented to us. Throughout every single consecutive movie, Tony builds relationships with the people around him, now needing for him to build a shield around those people, and then leading to the ultimate thing, which is him trying to build a shield around the world.
I don't want to hear the man was not meant to meddle Medley. I see a suit of armor around the world.
But Tony is one character in a river of other characters who seem impossible for us to be able to relate to, especially when some of them are gods and basically, well, they're considered to be gods anyways, and basically are indestructible, or just, you know, the humor saves you from having to experience anything in the movie. At this point and juncture of every single movie that I've seen, it seems that we're stuck on this formula of trying to build towards spectacle and not actually trying to build a character that we can relate to. The only other two characters that I felt any kind of connection with, or story building or arc building, was Loki and WandaVision. I mean, how else would I feel like, oh my god, this person deserves to actually have her kids, and this is awful that she's going through this experience right now. And it feels just awful for her to actually just go through that experience over and over of loss and pain. Those points that are left on the movie for us to be able to connect are like breadcrumbs for our emotional attachment to these characters. It allows us to relate even more. And that is what I believe is the point of cinema, is for us to actually find stories that we can connect with. Instead of actually focusing on the spectacle and all these other things that are just not relatable at all. We all want to be like that, but we know we just can't be, and there's no way for us to be able to relate to those characters. So when Tony actually passes away, his demise seems to hit a little bit more, because we understand the reason why he has to self-sacrifice. It's not just for the good of the world and his universe and every other universe. He does it to save the one group of people that he's actually been wanting to protect for years now. For me, it felt like I was basically just waiting for the next bigger and bigger and bigger spectacle, basically bigger and bigger war or thing to happen in these movies. And for some reason, I was disconnecting from it. It almost felt like we got to the peak and now we're coming down, and it just doesn't feel like there's actually another character for us to be able to connect with in these movies. But I personally believe that this issue is also a good thing, because now movies are coming out that are actually allowing us to connect more and more with characters that are being portrayed on screen. And it's not any longer about building these grand worlds and saving these movies through CGI. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you like what I talked about today, please subscribe. I'll be talking about more issues like this and more of my opinions on this stuff, as well as making my own movies on this channel. And I'm kind of excited for what this means for movies and shows, because I've been getting more and more obsessed with just trying to portray emotions in just one scene, instead of actually building this world that looks good and building this image that looks good on screen, and really trying to focus more on stories, staging, and blocking in my movies and the stuff that I'm doing in my work. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.